Google reviews are like, you can screw up once and people will read that one screw up.
Yeah, but the problem is, it's good and bad. I think because you can get someone that's vindictive.
True.
I
can agree with that.
I got called racist at Frank's.
No, I remember.
Yeah, and they went on there because
what?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, because she came in, she didn't have an appointment. I was fully booked, and I told and she was like,
"Are we airing this or is this just?"
Yeah, I don't care. Like, and she put a whole review of like in return she came in was racist because she's like, I saw that he was only cutting his own kind, and he told me he was booked and he wouldn't be able to cut my son, so I knew he was racist, and I was like, that doesn't even make sense.
What a crock!
Like, you didn't even.
What a crock!
You walked in and asked if I could.
What a crock!
Yeah, I literally put it on there, and then
whatever, man.
I clicked on her profile to see, like, because you can see their other reviews.
Oh yeah,
and she did it like 3 to 4
bad
times
reviews.
too. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Almost similar.
See,
things.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you got to be careful, but it's good and bad. Like, it helps, and then it could be I don't know. That's why sometimes, like, I'll read reviews, and I don't go for everything that's a 5-star, right? Because sometimes you can have someone who's just like. Sometimes I
all our 5-star reviews are real.
I read the good and the bad.
No, that's what I mean. I won't go to a spot just because it has 5 stars. Like, I'll read someone like.
This is recording, right?
Yeah. Well, we haven't opened, but I guess so. It's recording. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, our
5-star reviews are.
I still
legit, though.
No 5-star. No, if they're full 5 stars, it's definitely a positive. But like, if something's like at a 4.5 or something like that, like, I'll read the reviews and then make a decision. Because sometimes you'll read some reviews, and some people are just asking for ridiculous stuff, or just like.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And so it's always hard to tell. Like, I mean, I think there's more factors that play into it. So, but I do think it's good because you do got to keep some people honest. All right, welcome to the Local Love Podcast. This is Tony.
Sam
and Manny.
Happy New Year.
What's happening?
Belated Christmas because we didn't have a Christmas episode.
No, we didn't.
It was just too much going on.
Yeah.
But definitely, hopefully you guys are doing well. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us for it's not even a full year we've been doing this, but
it's full year of the barbershop,
but not a full year of the podcast.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, but we're in a new year. Hopefully we definitely want to make sure we're getting back to the tips and stuff and giving you guys some things. And that's kind of why you see the setup today as we started our conversation getting into it. One of the things we hopefully, as you've been following the episodes, coffee was one that we had with Fidel from Quantum, where we're selling coffee here as well. We're partnering with him. And so one of the things, I always hear people with like coffee and stuff is like, everyone wants to go to Starbucks, or it's too expensive, or it's too much things, or too much effort and things like that. And you can go extreme or you can go light. And I think sometimes it doesn't take that much to make a good cup of coffee. Like, everyone's like, you see the setup here, but we have the setup mostly because of filming and stuff. But the kettle, you can go get somewhere, you can get a good kettle, probably $40-$50. The coffee you can get here. This one is a, what do we have there again? It's a Panama. So we got a Panama.
Second word,
Boquete?
Boquete?
Yeah. So it's a wash, medium plus. Wasn't roasted. It was roasted not too long ago, so it's still within a good time frame. And this is Quantum Coffee. We do sell different kinds here. We have the cinnamon, if you like a little bit of a cinnamon taste to it. We do the Tanzanian. We have the new one that's we're about to sell out on is the New Guinea.
Yeah, we only have the ground one.
Those are both like earthly. If you like a earthly, darker type stuff, that's definitely there. And then you have your other stuff. Then we had a few other ones over there. I think we had the Colombian and
Colombia. Yeah, which I mean that's like I tell people like that's should be like your introduction to like black coffee, because it's like you kind of get it anywhere. And
Colombia.
But but you want to get a fresh roast like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, you always want to, like, typically, like when you're going with like a Quantum Coffee, you're getting a better bean. You're getting and really with coffee, when it comes down to two things, a good bean and good water. you know, how you grind it. There's several different ways. And then the method you use, like if you have a good bean and good water, you can put it in a regular coffee pot and you're going to still get better coffee than you've probably been getting from Folgers and other things. So
definitely Folgers.
Definitely recommend you guys trying it out, and then you can add stuff to it. So we're gonna, as we're talking here, we're gonna kind of demonstrate this. This is I do a French press every once in a while, and you don't have to do it every day. You
French press almost every day.
Yeah, you can do it every day. You can do it on the weekends. You can do it whatever. What it is, it's going to allow the grinds to stay in the water longer. So when you're doing your regular coffee through a coffee pot, the water's going pretty quickly through.
Yeah.
Even when I do a pour over, it's going to go over.
Yeah. My brother bought me one. A pour over.
Nice.
Yeah, and a grinder.
Nice. We're going to have to get into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a French press, it's going to stay there. Now, this method, that I got, you can find different methods, and I encourage you to look on YouTube and stuff like that. There's definitely different methods. This one, I will not say I created myself because I did not. I actually followed James Hoffman, who's like, he definitely is a coffee expert. He won one of those barista contests. And so if you really want to get into like super coffee stuff, definitely check him out on YouTube.
Have you had one of those yet? Coffee made by a barista?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you go to local shops, there's just you'll find some baristas there.
When they with the creamer and egg.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't get milk in mine a lot, so I don't get that. Like if you're doing a cappuccino, that's usually when they do it. I don't do it too much for me. But
you do the little designs and all that.
Yeah, right.
But if you're looking for that, you can go to a local coffee shop. They'll do it for you. And honestly, you could do it on your own. So I'll show a trick method once. I didn't bring milk because we drink our coffee black, but you can do it. And honestly, you can do it with the French press too.
I should have bought my creamer.
So
damn.
Let me
creamer.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this Panama, and like I said, so the method I'm gonna use is a James Hoffman. If you have about 10 to 15 minutes, you can do it. But it's not 10 or 15 minutes of you standing there and doing nothing, like just looking at it. That's what people think. Oh, 10 to 15 minutes. When I do mine, I make it, and then I'm making myself breakfast, or I'm getting ready, or whatever. I walk around and do what I need to do. Because this is kind of a method. You don't need a kettle for this. We have the kettle because we don't have a stove here. But honestly, when I do it at home or I do it at my parents' house when I'm visiting, I do it just in a pot of water. Because you just need to get the water boiling for this method. And water boils at 212 Fahrenheit. So as long as the water is boiling, you're good. So you can just throw the water on the stove, get it boiling, go do something. Once it's boiling, you come back. So this makes 8 cups. This is probably like 10, 15 bucks. The French press, this is like 10 or 15 bucks at Walmart. Literally, that's from Walmart. Like that, it's not a fancy one. This is a Mr. Coffee bean grinder. And it's not a burr grinder, which is what we typically recommend. And that's typically what I would suggest. Like when I use a burr grinder. But since we didn't have a burr grinder, I didn't have a burr grinder here. We're using this one, which I will show you a trick that I learned from James Hoffman. Because the issue with this one is the blade. It's a metal blade, so it's not going to chop evenly. But the burr grinder, it's going through, so you get an evenly chop. This doesn't do that. It just sits there and kind of moves it around. You're not going to get it perfect, but this is the method that I saw from James Hoffman that kind of helps. Now, I already know where I need to fill it up to get 8 cups. It's this silver one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a spoon so we can count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's all right if you drop a bean or two. And I know I need to fill it up to this silver part here to get the 8 cups. So that's about 11 spoons that I have to do. You can eye it. Look, if you go too much, it's not a big deal. If you go too less, that's when you're going to get a little bit less of an distraction. But honestly, the French press is probably one of the more forgiving methods because it's submerged for so long. So what we're going to do here is, and we're limited on plugs right now. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna unplug our kettle real quick. And we're gonna plug in the grinder. So you may get a little bit of weird noise. It's all good. And what I suggest is you either want to go with these things. You either want to go a medium or coarse. I would say start off coarse and then move to a medium. I'm gonna go with the medium because that's what I've been doing these on. You don't want to go too fine. You want to go medium or coarse for this type of submersion. And then what you want to do is you're gonna push it. It's gonna go. Get this set right so it starts falling on me. And what you're gonna do is as it's going, you're gonna shake it a little bit so it pops the beans up and it helps give it a yeah. And you can stop it, shake it up a little bit, and then shake it some more. And so what's gonna allow it to do is give it a little bit more even, and then the metal's not getting as hot too. So you stop so the metal doesn't get too hot. That's the reason bird grinder is not really metal. So and what you want to do is it's not gonna take too long. You just want to get a good consistency where you see it in there. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. So now we have that going, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in our water again. Because like I said, we only have one plug. Grab me that plug real quick. And again. And here at the shop, we have our K-cups so that you can always test out the coffees when you want to give it a shot. So we want to make sure our kettle's going to 212 like we mentioned before. Nice.
We're already at 212. Oh, it's just set up?
Yeah. All right, so we're going to get that up to 212. So what you want to do, and this is going to come over the place sometimes, but it's all right. It's all good. What you want to do is just get it all in there, right? So just get it in there, shake it up a bit. All right. We got our coffee in there. Set that there. We're going to set our grinder to the side because we're done with it. Grinders, definitely you want to try to wash them out with a rag and stuff like that. You can submerge it in water if you need to. I really wouldn't do it too often. You just want to take the dust off. Like, unless you're grinding seasonings and everything else, you really don't need to do too much with it. So we're going to put this off to the side here.
I clean mine every day.
All right, so we're going to get this going here. So we got it to 212 already. And so all we're going to do is pour water in here. Like I said, this is an 8 cup. So typically when you get up to the silver, that's going to be your max. So we're going to do, there's no special way of doing this or pouring it in. You can just go whichever method you need, whichever way you can. And again, like I said, I do this a lot from a pot, just boiling water. So again, you don't need a kettle to do this. The more important thing is getting the water boiling. So what you're gonna do is get this going. And what you'll sometimes see is, in especially fresh bean, if you come up close, you're gonna see how it's kind of foaming there. A lot of times this is the blossom. So this is laying out some of the gases because it's very fresh. So you're gonna see that it's gonna create this foamy top.
I understand it way more than I block gases.
And what I will sometimes do is I want to break that up for a bit. Just because,
talking about the top part, right?
Yeah, just because I want the water to, I want to make sure I get enough water in there. And I don't want to go too high because one of the things the French press is going to do is it's going to capture the beans, the grinds, but you can't go too high if you're going to capture the grinds. So you have to be careful with it. So now all we have to do is wait 4 minutes on this method. We're going to wait 4 minutes before we put on the top. So you can either put a timer or just look at the clock. It's 6:47. So we got
to put the top automatically. Why?
I wouldn't put the top in yet because there's still one more step I'm going to do.
Okay.
So the whole thing about this method is allowing it to submerge. So we're at 6:51, that's our current time. We'll go ahead and mix it up next. But this is a quick method. Like I said, 10 to 15 minutes. Boil the water. At this point, I'd be going and making breakfast or something. Like, I don't know what your routine is in the morning when you're doing your thing.
Well, at this point, I'm taking the dogs out to piss and crap.
Oh, okay. So. Well, that's the other thing. Like, you can go take the dog out, do whatever you need to do. That's the thing about coffee. Like, a lot of people are thinking, oh, this method, I got to stay there 10 or 15 minutes. But you put it there, you go do something else, then you come back, right? So we're waiting for 4 minutes on this. Yeah. So,
because you're just laying it.
Yeah, we're just letting it go there.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do next is, again, we're gonna wait 4 minutes. Again, we sell Quanto coffee here. What are we selling it for again?
15.
$15.
We have ground and we have whole.
Yeah, and again, it's a good coffee bean, something to try out. I guarantee you, try it out a couple times, even if you just do it on the weekend or something. It's a nice treat to have. And you'll find that once you do it, it's hard to go back to regular coffee. Like, I can have regular coffee here and there. What do
you mean by regular coffee?
Anything, like it could Starbucks or
like, do you mean like regular coffee? Okay, so you mean like stuff that's been sitting there for a while. Yeah, like not like once you go fresh, you don't really like to go.
Like even my office coffee, like my office, like the office I work at sometimes has a couple of machines where they do.
I can't wait to taste that.
Where they do a fresh grind. Yeah. Like my coffee, my office has a machine that does like a fresh grind of coffee. But those beans have been there so long because they pile it in there.
Okay.
And even though it's a fancy machine and stuff like that, I can taste the difference. Like I'd rather drink my coffee than I'll
because the beans are fresher, right?
Now here's another trick. So let's say that you do like doing cappuccinos, or you want that, because really what a cappuccino is, it's an espresso with foamy milk, right? You froth up the milk.
Yeah. They put that thing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it, if you like, let's say that you're making an espresso or even a Keurig or even this, right? And you like milk in yours, but you want it a little frothy, because what frothy is going to do is just create air in it. There is I don't know if it came from TikTok, but there's a little trick, a hack trick for this. So
it probably came from TikTok.
If this wasn't filled, what you would do is heat up some milk, whether it's in the microwave or something like that. Just heat up some milk, then pour it in here, and then you use this plunger and you put it down in, and you just pump it, and it's gonna pump air in it, and it's gonna froth it up.
Oh yeah.
And then you can
With
use
the
that
coffee.
No.
Oh, okay. I was like,
no. If you don't have coffee in it, like let's say you're already done doing it, you can put some hot milk in there, and you can do it that way. Like one of the things I've come to understand is like, depending how you're doing this, or depending like what kind of coffee you like. Let's say you like milk in your coffee, but you want some cinnamon and stuff like that. You can heat up some milk in a coffee cup in the microwave. Throw in a little cinnamon, mix it up, let it kind of heat up, and now you have warm milk, and you add your coffee to it. It has some cinnamon, sugar. You already melted in. You're always making like a simple syrup with the milk. So there's different tricks you can do that are actually pretty quick. And again, like if you really want,
you can even make your own cold foam. Cold foam.
Yeah. If you can pour this over ice if you want a iced coffee. Yeah. You know, you can.
Nah.
You could honestly in this one, and this one you could do a cold brew too. So all you would do is just
I tried the cold. I can't do the cold.
Yeah. Well, some people like it, right? So how do you do a cold brew? Same method, just don't use hot water. Put it in there and throw it in the fridge for 8, 12, 24 hours. Then press it down, and now you got a cold brew. So the French press is pretty versatile when you're just starting off. Like if you're wanting something
So how much something like that costs?
Like $15, $20 at Walmart.
So
shut up.
You said not to press it down?
Not to press it down yet. So we're waiting for 4 minutes, which you just hit. Perfect timing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break up the top.
Oh, hold on. Let me get in there.
All right. So we're going to break up the top. So I'm going to let Manny come over here real quick. It doesn't have to be 4 minutes exactly. Sometimes I'll put a timer. Sometimes I'm just looking and coming back. You don't want to go for too long, but you definitely want it like about 4 minutes. Let it sit there, right? And so what happens is the coffee gets here and it's, do we got it or? All right. So Maddie's gonna come up here real quick so you can get a close view of it. So what you'll see is, you see all the grinds have collected at the top. So what we're gonna do is just simply break it up. And what you'll do, you can stir it, just kind of go back and forth. And what that's gonna do is gonna break up the crust at the top. James Hoffman recommends if you have 2 spoons, you can scoop out some of the top stuff. I don't ever do that. I don't see the method for it. It's just if people like to take some of that out, because with this method, you are going to find some sediments at the bottom of your coffee cup, but it's not going to hurt you. So again, so you just stir it up, and now here comes the patient part. So this is where you go back and do something else. Put the top on, but don't push the plunger down. You don't want to push the plunger down until you're ready to serve. So we're just putting the top on, and we're gonna leave it there for 5 more minutes. So now we're allowing the coffee to sit even further. We're allowing it to merge. So in about 5 minutes, we will go ahead, and I'm gonna place a timer for this because we're gonna be talking about other stuff, and I don't want us to get lost in this. Let me just put a timer real quick. Go ahead.
So the first part is like letting it cool down a bit and frothing up. Or
it's letting it's just letting it mix in with the heat and everything, and just kind of letting it go, and then you're breaking it up again, and just really this is all about how much time it's in the water, right? You can leave it longer than 5 minutes. James Hoffman recommends 5 minutes, and then you pour, and that's your best bet. You can wait and leave it longer. It's just gonna be soaking longer, so you're gonna probably get a stronger flavor if that's what you want. It doesn't hurt it one way or the other. But I usually go about 5 minutes. So typically this is where I'm going and doing something else again. Yeah. I'll be making breakfast, typically my eggs and toast and stuff like that. And that's the best part about it. Like when you're making this and you have it the top off, you can smell it off. It smells really good. So if you want your house smelling like coffee, let's say you cook something. I don't know how many you cook, but if you cook at night or something, and you cook like carne picada with some cumin or comino, you're gonna smell that in the house a lot. Yeah, coffee helps overpower that. Yeah. So making a fresh batch of coffee in the morning helps with the smell.
Yeah, it helped with the smell here once. So. It helped with the smell here once. One of a guy came in here and he smelled like poop. We could not get the smell out of this thing, and I was like, you know what? I threw coffee in there and set that sucker on, and it gone. It smelled like coffee in there. I was like, thank God, man.
So I'm not big on New Year's resolutions. I don't know if you guys are.
No,
never been my big thing.
Nope, never have. Well, I'm lying. I have in my life.
Yeah.
But I mean, as you get older and wiser, man, you realize
But do you have any goals that maybe we won't call it New Year's resolution, but any goals that maybe you set even before the new year that you're still trying to do?
Nothing?
Nope.
Nothing for me.
Well, we want to goals as in since we got our place now, we want to get a new table.
Yeah.
New bed and a baker's rack, and then on the more
you said a baker's rack.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's just it's pretty much just more stuff you can put it's a shelf in a way. You can hang stuff and yeah. I don't know as much as she does about it, but it works out, I guess. We can put the microwave there. We can move stuff that can give us more counter space.
I bet if I go home and ask my wife, she know what it is.
Yeah. You probably have one in the house. Yeah. You just didn't even know it was called, because I didn't know it was called a baker's rack until Mom called it a baker's rack, and then I told her about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." But on the more not so serious goals is we're big comic book collectors, so we want to see how many books we can read and start actually displaying and make a little library at the house of because we don't read singles really. We read the graphic novels and they're pretty thick.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We saw it and I was like, yeah, we can there's a guy that had 4,000 plus and she's like, I bet you we can do that, and I was like, I don't know if we can do that, but we can get close to it. So we're our goal is to at least have a few hundred at the house.
That's good, man.
And then just keep reading. It pushes us to read more and to get more and stay off the phones and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our goal for 2023.
That's
the
cool.
Jordan year.
That's
goat
cool.
year.
That's cool. Yeah, I had goals set before, but I think one that I had before the new year and one that I want to continue into is moving to Austin. I still want to try a new restaurant every Friday. Doesn't happen every Friday, but try at least, try a new restaurant here and there on the Fridays I'm there.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But again, it hasn't happened every Friday. Like this past Friday, I wasn't up to it. I wasn't feeling well, so it was like, nah, I ain't doing that. But I definitely want to try new restaurants in Austin, and then definitely go back to a few of my favorite ones. And then one of the ones I think for the podcast and the barbershop that we challenged ourselves on was we're going to be trying to put up more shorts, and we're also doing that for the Turn podcast too. So that's one of the things we're trying to aim to do, 2 or 3 shorts,
reels for Instagram.
So you may find a short on the coffee thing or something. We may put something up. But that's one of the things we want to do, and that's the alarm right there. See, 5 minutes goes by, you're just talking, and now
5 minutes.
Now here's the next piece. And Manny, I don't know if you want to grab 2 cups from there.
Actually, and one of my new clients, he's not gonna be with me too long because he's in the Air Force or whatever. But he's matching his coffee with his cigars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to try that.
Kind of like,
you know what?
Kind of like wine and steak.
What I've always found, like if you ever do, and it's one of the only pre-grind coffees I actually like, is that what's that one from New Orleans? But it has chicory in it. I've always felt like that has like a kind of a cigar-y type flavor to it. All right, so typically, I just need 2 cups because I got.
What he matches too is like he was like, which one's your dark roast? Because I like my cigars like on a darker leaf. So he's matching it with it too. And I was like, that's pretty dope. So I want to kind of try that.
So one of the things is when people come in and ask what's the best coffee, it's really based on your flavor. Like everyone likes different things. So that's what it's hard to say. You can use this method with dark, light. It's all just a matter of like dark, you're going to get a little more earthly type flavor, smokiness. Lighter ones, you may get a more floral, fruity. Just depends what it is. Typically, darks are going to be like chocolates and stuff like that.
Yeah, which explain because we still have people asking like, like they think the darker roast is the stronger roast, and it's not.
Honestly, and it's hard. So when you talk strength, you gotta be asking, is it the flavor, or are you talking about caffeine?
They're talking about the caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine. And so it's always hard. Like this is gonna feel heavily caffeinated because this has been sitting in the bean longer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's a light or dark roast, it's gonna feel heavily or caffeinated than your typical pot of coffee, because there it's spraying and it's going through. Here you're having it sit there for a while. So 2 things. If I was drinking this on my own, and let's say I'm only gonna have half a cup first and I'm gonna drink it, I don't push it all the way down. I push it down just enough to serve my first cup. And I would put it there and then I would serve, because then I'm letting the rest of it stay longer. So then I would serve myself.
To be clear, that second cup of your coffee is going to be stronger because you're letting it sit longer.
And so I would pour this in, have my cup there.
You can try some, Manny?
And then, I have a cup over here.
Oh, okay. I was like...
And so, because we're all going to drink, I'm just going to push it all the way down. So we're going to push it all the way down. You don't have to force it down. Just gently and slowly let it go down. And then once it stops, you'll feel it. Don't push it, because what you don't want is you're forcing some of the sediment to come up. You're naturally going to get it in this format, but it's okay because of the way this builds out. So we're going to pour some into my cup as well. Got some there. And then here's what sometimes, like, I'll fill it up in my cup, and then I'm going to walk away, because you can drink your coffee very hot, but you gotta remember, this is boiling water. So you may want to let it cool down. A lot of times when people add milk, one of the things they don't realize is you're changing the temperature of the coffee. So if you use a hot milk, like I was saying, warming it up, you're helping preserve the coffee longer. Because if you add milk right out of the fridge, you're gonna cool that down quick. That's like putting ice in your iced tea real quick. You're gonna cool it down, and the milk. I tend to say warmer milk is better because it'll allow it to last longer from a heat standpoint. So again, microwave it, 30 seconds. Look at it. If you put it in a cup, and you don't gotta put a lot of milk, it just depends how much milk. Put it in a cup and just look at the cup and see how much like if it starts boiling over, that's where you want to turn it off. Like you want to get it gonna create some air, and then you can pour it in. I've done different things for people. I've thrown in cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla, and that's what I'm saying. Like, depending how you like your coffee, like if you want the Starbucks stuff, if you like the Starbucks stuff, you can buy the syrups, and there's nothing that's saying you can't add milk, syrup. People like that flavor. People like it. People like it. Well, no matter what you add into it, it's good. So if you add sugar, you're going to change the flavor standpoint. You add milk, you're going to change it. Different milks, oats, milk, I don't know, non-dairy type milks, almond milk. You're going to add a little flavor to it. So it's just a matter of what you like.
Except if you're at Local Love. We drink it straight black here at Local Love.
But typically what I recommend people do is when you're having your first cup, drink it black and then add to it. Let it cool down. Get the flavors, and then if you really want to be, then you, because based on the flavor, if you're just adding milk and sugar, I mean, you're keeping a certain consistency, but you may taste it and say, you know, this may go good with some cinnamon, and so you can add some cinnamon to it, or you can add something else. You'd be surprised. One of the things that we may try out the next time on a French press, if you want to almost do like I think it's Cuban coffee, you can throw some brown sugar in there with the coffee grinds. And let it be in there.
You know, when I was drinking Folgers, I would, in the coffee machine, I would put cinnamon inside the grinds. Yeah. So when it comes out, you can taste the cinnamon.
Yeah. And you can do the same thing with this. You can add some cinnamon to it. You can add different things. And so you can get creative with it.
Oh, like,
this is good.
This is not instant. Yeah. This is not instant.
What do you guys think?
This is definitely not instant. Let me just tell you that right now. I know what instant coffee tastes like. Oh, yeah. And this is not at all. This is pretty good.
You know, it doesn't have a strong, like, I don't know if it's just me right now, but it doesn't have a strong, like, coffee smell. It has, like, a floral.
No, so this is a little bit of a lighter roast.
Right? Yeah.
And the Panama is probably
it's
a little bit more. This is gonna be more on the fruity side, floral fruity side. So it's not bad, like especially if people that are not heavy coffee drinkers, that they don't like that real dark. This is good for them. I like trying all different types because you can taste the different stuff.
At this point,
this is really good.
Yeah, at this point, man, for me, I'm just like, I'm adventurous. Like, let's just try anything.
That's what I mean.
I've always
let's go for it.
Like I have my go-tos, like from Quantum, my go-to, which we just started selling, which is the one I was saying we only have one more bag of. No, is the New Guinea.
I don't think I had that one.
The New Guinea bean.
We need to get the K-Cups for that.
That's my go-to one. It's a earthly flavor. It comes out pretty dark. I like it dark, but it's not a bitter dark. Like it has a nice earthly flavor.
I could do bitter dark too. Yeah. I could do it all.
Because, and he had told me I think both of y'all told me that was the closest to Tanzania.
Yeah,
which Tanzania has been a big hit here in
So New Guinea he hadn't had it in a while, and so whenever I would reorder coffee from him, I always ordered at least a bag or two of New Guinea for myself because I love that was my go-to bean. Now I will go buy other beans and try it out. And I always
How
get.
does the Old Guinea taste?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, that one caused me to take a big gulp.
Not bad. Not bad.
But again, 15 minutes, you get a good cup of coffee. You don't have to sit there for 15 minutes. You can go wherever you want. This makes 8 cups. So like we did 3 cups. This makes 8 cups. So like I have a bigger cup that's probably like 32 ounces or something. Somewhere around there.
Is that the one we got you for?
Yeah. So it's bigger than this one.
Christmas gifts.
It's bigger than this, and it fills it up. So that's my coffee for the day, and I have enough. You put in a good thermos, it'll keep warm.
Keep it warm.
And you got it there. Like sometimes I will put it in a thermos, let it cool down, then close it off so it stays hot still, but not burning hot.
Yeah.
And I'll walk away and I'll go finish drinking my water in the morning and stuff like that because I like to get hydrated
with
first.
With my tumblers, I usually I don't want it to get I don't want to keep too much of the heat, but I do want it to be still hot because you don't want to drink. Warm coffee tastes gross.
Yeah.
It's just like warm beer. Warm beer tasted gross.
Yeah, nah.
And
can't do nothing warm. Warm coffee is not the business.
I
gotta be hot. That's why I don't like cold.
Yeah.
I can't do the cold one, man. I can't.
So I leave the top open for a bit, and it cools it down, and then after that,
hot.
every time
I like it just like this, hot.
So yeah, no, I can't, because especially when I'm here at work, like I'm like.
Well, it's funny.
So I'm like,
if you really,
so I close the top after a while and just like I open it, drink it, close it back up.
See, sometimes for me the coffee's real hot, and it's funny unless you really, as you get into it, the flavor profile changes as the temperature changes. So how you taste that at a hotter temperature will taste different as it gets cooler. So I don't like drinking my coffee cold. But I do like it sometimes at a lukewarm, just to see the different flavor profile, because you will get a different flavor profile from the different temperatures.
Each some. Me warm coffee, no, I'm chunking it.
Yeah, yeah. There's times
when I can't do it, bro.
Again, like coffee, and I'm like, it just sits there in my cup after that.
I'm chunking it.
Well, like I said, typically I have that big old cup, so it's gonna last me about 2 hours, and that cup keeps it pretty warm. And
30, how big is the cup?
Probably like
you said 32 ounces?
It only lasts you 2 hours?
Probably about, maybe, what size is this? This is like an 18?
Nah, man, that's more than 18 ounces.
This one's about like an 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yours is about like, I don't know, maybe that's a 32. I don't know.
I don't know.
So it's the big silver one I have. That's probably about 30-something ounces. Typically, it'll last me about 2 hours. And that's because I'm sipping on it. Once it starts getting warmer, I'm drinking it more. But I let it sit around for a bit. But I have it closed. That thing keeps it pretty warm. This one does too. And I'll keep it there. And when I want it to cool off, I take the top off. When I want it just staying warm, I have the top on. But like I said, I'll wake up early in the morning. I'll have my water. I have milk in the morning. I used to have coffee with my breakfast, but like now more, I start drinking it right when I'm heading out. Like I'll have breakfast, get dressed, and then right when I'm heading out, I'll start sipping on my coffee. Yeah. And then I drink it when I get to the office. I'm there drinking it as I'm working, and then drinking some water, because I'm very big on drinking quite a bit of water.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when I'm cutting, people see, they're always like, got that big old jug of water. And I'm like, well, I'm drinking coffee. I drink too much coffee, especially as a barber. I want to
jittery.
Yeah. Because I'm drinking it. So I cut it down with water too. Now here's to keep hydrated too.
Well, now here's a myth. So a lot of coffee will get you dehydrated, but not really. Not to the where people used to say coffee gets you dehydrated. But, and I'm just making up this number, but you can figure it out. 65-70% of coffee is water.
Hello.
So you're not really getting the caffeine's going to dehydrate you just like anything, but it doesn't dehydrate you like people would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. So another client of mine, he's a nurse. I think he's like a head nurse now or something, and he's really good at finding the veins. Like they call him and they're like, and he's like, yeah, as long as you're hydrated, like those veins are gonna pop out.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't even. And I was like, oh, so like people that drink. He's like, no, you don't have to drink water. You just have to be hydrated. You can drink soda all day. He's like, you're still hydrated. You're just not healthy hydrated. Well, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
You're not healthy hydrated. That's correct.
For those of you that are making resolutions to go work out, like if you want that pump that they talk about and you want the veins popping, a lot of people buy the
water.
Well, drink water.
Yeah.
And then if people do a lot of, they'll buy like the pre-workout stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that's gonna give you a heavy caffeine and a drive, and then it helps that. But honestly, what you could do, go to HEB, go to Walmart, go anywhere, buy the 0 sugar Gatorade packs. It's gonna do the same thing because it has sodium and hydration. And those things, because sodium and water. That's the thing. Like sodium gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
But it's because but it's because we eat a lot of processed foods and stuff that are heavy in sodium. But sodium itself is not bad.
You know, people don't even understand that when you get dehydrated and they take you to the hospital,
they give you salt.
They give you normal saline
soda,
which is
salt and water. Yeah, because the salt helps people don't know that. The salt helps you rehydrate. Yeah. The problem is we overdo the salt with the food.
Yeah,
just like we overdo with sugar.
So
yeah.
So